A good morning to all of you for coming here, for attending this wonderful session. Big thank you to Bail and Yamini and her team for putting today's excellent program together and the entire program. I think the artists have done their job. Yamini and team and Bail have done their job. Now it's us as visitors, as art lovers, to now promote the fabulous work which all of you have done. So a big, big hand of applause to all of you for the fantastic work which you guys have put in. I visited the airport yesterday and I'm still awed by the works. I have no words to explain it. They were mind-blowing, if I just have to put it in one word. Traditional arts and have always inspired artists and designers alike, and some create get inspired by these art forms and reflect some elements of it in their artworks, while others make it an integral part of their visual vocabulary. Yet others marry the two to create something totally different and unique. And today's panel discussion will look at 4 such artists who have done some amazing work, or which has been inspired and influenced by these traditional art forms. I would like to introduce the wonderful panel, Madhu Chandrika. She is the founder-director of Earthen Symphony and an accomplished artist, and is known for her unique artistic style and innovative approach in incorporating art into architectural aspects. Her work blends Indian aesthetics with the modern and contemporary sensibilities. She's particularly known for disrupting the traditional art world model and then accepting notions of branding. Her art form inspires awe due to their scale and form, which you will experience at the airport. Her ability to create immersive and visually stunning environments not only add aesthetic value, but also adorns ambience, the overall ambience and characters of the space. Her work can be seen in various public spaces, private spaces, including corporates or corporate offices and hotels and cultural institutions. In addition to being an artist, she is a TEDx speaker and has represented female entrepreneurs of India at the UN Commission for Women at New York in 2019. Michael Foley is one of India's leading product designers and an entrepreneur. He has founded Foley Designs, Foley Innovations, and TLV. Under his creative leadership, Foley Designs has become one of India's leading multidisciplinary design studios. Foley Innovations works on design concepts and prototypes, and TLV Solutions is a design execution company. The furniture for the curbside visitors area, information desks, and check-in stations at the airport are done by them. As an urban planner, he has worked on a series of initiatives around traffic management systems and waste disposals that can be redesigned to meet the growing needs of urbanization. Michael has also conceptualized and created the baton for the 2010 Delhi Commonwealth Games. A big round of applause to Michael. Joining Michael, we also have Mr. Gundu Raju. He is 9th generation puppeteer of Togla Gumbeta from Hassan district. In his own words, he has presented leather puppets that are as old as 600 years. He has performed in several places in India, Karnataka, and abroad. He has been in the field for the last 5 decades and has seen the evolution and has taken the puppetry tradition which was passed on from his parents and grandparents and given it a new twist. And his son carries the legacy. A warm welcome to Mr. Gundurajan. Ravi Kumar Kashi, a multifaceted artist who was awarded the Karnataka Lalit Kala Academy Award 3 times and the National Award in 2001. He has worked with solo group works and curated shows across the world in museums, galleries, and art fairs. He has written several articles and books on art, both in Kannada and English. In fact, 2 of his books in Kannada also have received awards. His works with mediums like painting, sculpture, photography, and installation have delivered layer meaning, which engages the viewers at different multiple levels. His works explore the idea of self and its interaction with the urban world, thus sparking deep introspection. His work reflects his interest in exploring the mechanics of making meaning. Over the years, he has developed an unconventional artistic vocabulary supported by a personalized logic and an aesthetic structure born from a process-based act of combining ideas. I think S.G. Vasudev is one of the most, I don't know if anybody who does not know him here, all of us know you, sir, but just to kind of give a brief introduction to sir. He has been, S.T. Vasudev has been a long-time artist associated with the Cholamandala Artists Village, and he is one of the most prominent painters in Karnataka, and he has held many shows across the world. His collections, his artworks are in collections in not just international galleries, but museums as well. And he has won several awards in India and abroad. He is one of the most prolific proponents of indigenous modernism, who has worked across mediums simultaneously, which explains why his creations seamlessly flow from one to the other. His large tapestries and copper reliefs blur the lines between high art and traditional art. Over the last 60 decades, his works on some of the themes which he's been continuously working are Tree of Life, Earthscapes, Love, and Death. A documentary film called The Open Frame tracks the artistic and personal journey of the artist. Vriksha, The Art and Times of S.G. Vasudev is a book that features essays on the various professional and personal phases of the artist's life. A warm welcome to all of you. I would like to start the session by asking each one of you to briefly, in 3 words, describe the experience of creating your artworks at the airport.
Thanks. I studied in Chennai, School of Arts and Crafts, and there was a lovely craft section. And we were allowed to walk into any section there and do whatever one wanted. There was batik, there was textile, there was woodwork, enameling, ceramics, anything. So our principal, KCS Panikka, had allowed us to walk into any section and do things as one wanted. And that was the first interest in craft for me. And we felt that there is very different, very thin line of difference between craft and art. Really speaking, one doesn't know what you call the people who created Mahabalipuram. Are the artists or the craftsmen? Very difficult to say that. Anyway, my interest in craft and learning craft and also doing craft took place in 60s. And it was, Cholamandal was the result of the experimentation we all did, at about 25, 30 of us. We thought we should extend our art to craft and see whether there is any possibility to make enough money from the craft. And so we got, nearly 2 years we worked, and then we had a very good exhibition, which was almost a sellout. We did in batik, we learned batik there in the School of Arts, and then did batik, saris, dress materials, wall hangings and everything, and put them up, and it was all sold. Most of them were sold. That gave us the idea that we should have a place of our own, and not only place of our own to work, but to live around. That's how the artist village started. And I think yesterday somebody was asking me a question whether it is, how do the artists live today? We lived in 60s, and the same problem rises today also for the artist community. And it has changed very little since then. Then my interest in tapestry, there's a story behind that. I went to Paris to learn stained glass. And then there was a week time, one didn't do anything, and then they took me to various places. One was a stained glass worker whose studio they wanted me to visit. And when I visited that studio, I saw works of Marc Chagall. Marc Chagall's paintings were on the floor. And then I asked him, he was speaking French and I had to speak only in English, and there was a translator in between. And then I asked him, how do you relate yourself with Marc Chagall? Chagall, as you all know, has done wonderful work in glass, stained glass, all over the world. His murals are all known murals all over the world. Then he said, "Sir, Chagall comes, he leaves the painting. I work with the painting. I choose the glasses, cut the glasses to shapes, and then temporarily put them up together on the wall. And when he comes, he corrects them and leaves it to me to finish it." And then I asked him, "How do you know Chagall so well to finish it?" He said, 40 years we have worked together. 40 years. That is collaboration. And I really wanted to collaborate with somebody with whom I could work on tapestries. And tapestry is a beautiful art which I had seen abroad in some of the contemporary tapestries and traditional tapestries in museums and corporate houses and banks. And then when I was looking for somebody in India with whom I could work, because I'm not a weaver myself. I'm a painter, I'm not a weaver. So Hussain Saab, M.F. Hussain Saab, painter, he had a studio very close to my house. He had come over once and he put up some half a dozen tapestries in his house, in his studio. Then I asked him, "Sir, did you do this in Jaipur? Got it done in Jaipur?" He said, No, there is a person in Bangalore. And so he introduced me to this person. and I have been working with him for the last 24 years. And my tapestries are from my paintings. The only thing which I can change in tapestry is while the thread is dyed to a particular color, instead of red, I can make it maroon. Instead of maroon, I can make it black. Things like that. I can dye the threads to suit, to make it different. And it so happened that when Yamini came, I thought I could do a sculpture for the airport, and I had sent a drawing of my sculpture in copper, but somehow or the other it was changed, and then Yamini came and said that, it's very nice to see your tapestries. So they came to my studio and selected 6 tapestries which are there, which you are seeing. And tapestries are very interesting because, you can see both the sides. One side it looks like abstraction. That's why I wanted it to be displayed anywhere if possible, so that it could be seen both the sides. And I sincerely hope that the viewers of T2 at the airport will see it both the sides and appreciate it, and whatever time they can spend thereon. And I feel that art can be anywhere. It can be in the airport, it can be at the museum, it can be in the art galleries, or it can be in houses. There is no difference. And only thing is that there is something which I feel, which I was arguing also earlier, was about hotel art, which I agree that hotel art is different from the other arts. And hotel art is easy for eye to see, and other arts are, other places it's difficult. Other arts are difficult. And this is how I have conceived my tapestries at the airport. You can see them. Thank you.
You wanted a very short answer. It was a series of problem solving. And then I wondered how I, was able to do that, because it was a domain which I didn't know. I just entered and then.
I think for us, we've been working with the airport and many things, and it kind of there was a dialogue on trying to figure out how we could, collaborate. And I think for us, the whole project was actually collaboration. It was not about any individual experience or expression, but largely a collective of creative people put together with master craftsman Raju is an amazing puppeteer. He's crafted some very beautiful puppets, and we've got the team to creatively put together a story. So the whole idea was 7 windows, which is a collective. It's a storytelling method. I mean, puppets were used to tell stories, and we said, let's use these 7 windows to tell a story. So we've layered 2 stories. One is about the craft, and I think Gundaraj will speak about that. And what we've done is we've kind of deconstructed the craft, so you see each window individually with a sense of awe of how this is actually done completely with hands. And the second part is we layered a story around Karnataka, and we took a 16th century Rani Abakka, her story and how she kind of protected the Karnataka coast. And we kind of broke that story and layered it with this whole idea of puppet making. And that's what came alive as 7 windows. And I think for us it was, we as a studio, I think, believe in trying to bring back crafts in a way that it's part of our daily lives. And this was one expression that would expand, reach out to people. I mean, passengers see it, and I think it's a big way to kind of start looking at how crafts can be reinvented in today's context. And this is just the beginning of a journey, and I think we want to do a lot more in this whole space.
So for me, 3 words that you said. The first one is gratitude. Gratitude because I'm very thrilled, happy, glad that I was able to be part of the art program at BIAL, because I'm always, from when I was small, I'm born, brought up a Bangalorean, true blue Bangalorean, and I always thought, when will I be able to have an artwork at BIAL where, which can actually speak about Karnataka and my state. The second one would be about connection. The second word is connection, because what I have tried to do with my artwork is to help or to create a sense of connection to the people who are traversing through the airport, to feel that, yes, this is where I belong, this is part of me, this is mine, BIAL, the airport is me. This is for a Kannadiga who is, so my artwork is inspired, influenced by the architecture of Karnataka. I believe that, and we all know that architecture is an ever-present visual which connects us to the past, helps us reimagine the lives and reimagine everything that was during the time when it was alive. And I have taken the influence from the Hoysala architecture, from the tombs in Bijapur, and also the Pushkarni in Hampi. And the artwork is an amalgamation. It's actually showcasing how what we call as a local is actually an outcome of all the influences that have gone into them. And my artwork shows as a peaceful, happy amalgamation of all the influences that are there, and that is what Bangalore and Karnataka is today. Yeah, those are in 3 words for you.
Thank you.
नमस्कार. कन्नड़ा, फिर भी थोड़े से हिंदी से बात करता हूँ. बहुत अलग अलग जगह से, भारत से आए कलाकार और पंडित लोगों को मैं पहले प्रणाम करता हूँ. आप ये पपेट्री देख रहे हैं, एक जात का लोग, एक कम्युनिटी का लोग भारत में, वो भी कर्नाटका में 3,500 साल से ये निभाते आ रहे हैं. ये घर में पहले मैं दिखाना चाहता हूँ, एक लेदर से शुरू हो जाता है. हम तो एक कच्चा लेदर लाके ऐसा एक ट्रांसपेरेंट बना लेते हैं घर में. कहीं भी फैक्ट्री में नहीं मिल सकता है, हम खुद घर में बनाना पड़ता है. बनाने के बाद उनको कोई ट्रेडिशनल कहानी का कैरेक्टर होना चाहिए, वो हम खुद बना लेते. बना के सारे रात 9 बजे शुरू होगा, रात दिन सुबह 6 बजे तक शो चलते रहता है. लेकिन ये ट्रेडिशन कला पपेट्री में सिर्फ एक कला नहीं, तो आर्टिस्ट बनना पड़ता है. वो होने के बाद चित्रकला आर्टिस्ट बनना पड़ता है. बाद में गाने का सीखना होता है, इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स बजाना सीखना होता है, डायलॉग लिखना सीखना होता है. ऐसा अलग अलग आर्ट इसके अंदर है. ये ट्रेडिशन रामायण, महाभारत, भागवत, शिव पुराण, देवी भागवत, फोक कहानियाँ, ऐसे बहुत, ये कलाकार कम से कम 300 से 350, 400 तक स्टोरी जानना पड़ता है. घर में शिक्षा होता है उसी के लिए. गाना डायलॉग एक कहानी में शुरू हो जाता है. ऐसा आप तो देख रहे हैं, इसी में हमने कैरेक्टर, ब्रिटिश का कैरेक्टर भी बना दिया है. लेकिन वो तो मेरे दादा का डिज़ाइनिंग है, वो ब्रिटिश का. तब तो ब्रिटिश लोग का क्यों बनाते थे? गांव में मंदिर के पास शो होता था. तब तो आप तो पपेट्री में देख सकते हैं, इंद्रजित काड़गा, शिव जलंधर काड़गा, अभिमन्यु काड़गा, सुधन्व काड़गा. काड़गा मतलब होता है युद्ध, वार. ये वार जैसा करके भारत के लोगों को ब्रिटिश के ऊपर भड़का देते थे. लेकिन गवर्नमेंट ने, ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट ने ये बैन कर दिया पपेट्री को, कभी नहीं ये शो करना है. लेकिन बाद में तो कलाकार पूरा जाके ब्रिटिश ऑफिसर के पास बोला, साहब हमारी ज़िंदगी है तो हम क्या करना है. लेकिन ऐसा हो तो एक ब्रिटिश लोग को वहाँ शो करने के टाइम में वहाँ रहना चाहिए, तब तो आप शो कर सकते हैं. लेकिन ऐसा चला एक 3-4 साल बाद में तो और सारी रात तो जाग नहीं सकते थे ब्रिटिश लोग बैठ के. तब इन्होंने जाके बता दिया, ऑफिसर साहब ऐसा करो, आप आपके जैसे एक पपेट बना के हम पपेट्री के स्टेज पे बना खड़ा कर देते, ऐसा शो कर लेते. ठीक है ऐसा कर लो. देखो ऊपर का एक है वो कैरेक्टर बना दिया ब्रिटिश का, वो इसमें जाके मेल इसमें जाके बैठा है, ऐसा पपेट शो करते थे. सारे रात गाने में डायलॉग में ऐसा होते थे. वो तो डिज़ाइन बहुत सुंदर सुंदर पपेट. आज कर्नाटका का जो पपेट आर्ट है हर देश में उसको बहुत महंगा है. लेकिन ये इधर तरफ से 2 आंख के बनाते हैं. ये डिज़ाइन सिर्फ कर्नाटका का है. इतना सुंदर पपेट मेरे पास एक 2000 पपेट मेरे परदादा दादा उनके सब 2000 पुराने, बहुत 500 साल पुराने पपेट, 600 साल पुराना पपेट मेरे पास इतना सुंदर डिज़ाइन बनाते थे. लेकिन क्या है, ये कर्नाटका का पपेट्री में कोई पपेट नहीं बेच सकता था. लेकिन घर में 3 महीने से ज़्यादा नहीं रख सकते, शो करना है ऐसे. ये इसीलिए बंद हो गया. नदी में बह देते थे पपेट पुराना होने जाने के बाद. आंध्रा के पपेट्री में तो लाइफ साइज का पपेट्री में वो बेचने का शुरू कर दिया. तब तो आंध्रा लोग कर्नाटका में आ गए, वो पूरा पुराना पपेट ले जाके वो तो बाहर बेच दिए. ऐसा डिज़ाइन में मैं इनको बता दिया, पोली कंपनी साहब को बता दिया, साहब ये पुराना डिज़ाइन है तो वो बनाएंगे हम, इसलिए ये पपेट बना के मैं दे दिया हूँ. धन्यवाद.
Coming back to you, sir. You had mentioned that it was a series of challenges, a series of problems which you solved. Could you highlight a little bit of the challenges which you faced? Creating an artwork, there are challenges, that's one, but also the challenges faced because of the site which it was in. So, both.
Yeah. First of all, when we say tradition, I don't want to make the entire tradition like one big, area. I would always ask tradition of whose tradition, tradition from where, and tradition from which time. So it is a very specific contextual kind of traditions that we have in India, and they are not closed traditions. They are living traditions. They are porous. They are open to new kind of influences and change. So keeping that in mind, when we engage with tradition, I would be looking at various aspects: the content, the material, the stylization, and the way it is made. So all that. Unfortunately, because I'm a teacher, I teach in a school of architecture. We had a project a few years ago where for about 7 days, we spent time with Chanpatna artisans, and then the students had made a project. We didn't actually make a practical work, but we thought about it, we discussed about it. So discussing this idea of how does one engage with a tradition for 80 students, it was there in my mind. And when the offer came that I had to work with Chanpatna tradition, I kind of jumped at it. And the initial idea came very quickly. In about half an hour or so, I had the idea. I was thinking of a man who is flying, but then it became a bird. And then in Chanpatna tradition, you can only make a very small piece. The form has to be very simple because of the turning method. The colors are limited. So keeping all this in mind, I imagined a work where I'm inspired by the bird movement called murmurations, and then I created a bird form. And then to bring in variety, I had to bring in different size birds. And then with a small range of 5-6 colors, I made a series of patterns and all that. So the initial idea happened very quickly, but then the problem started because you have to actually make a piece. I went to the Chenpatna craftsmen. I made a kind of small prototype. Then we figured out whatever I imagined could not be possible, so I had to bring it down or transform that. Then scaling it up. So at every step there were more and more problems. So I went on solving them. That's why I said it's a series of problem solving. Initially I thought it will be the entire birds will be on the white wall. But when I went to see the site, it was like a brown the brick wall. So I had to think of a kind of containment for that. Then that would not be rectangle. It has to be to make it aesthetically interesting. I made a oval. So what I have done is I have documented whatever problems came and the series of solutions that were possible, and then what we ended up with. So that became a interesting act by itself. And then I put it up in the Instagram. A lot of people liked it and all. So my thing is the initial idea that comes out doesn't really happen in the same way. So it has to be you have to keep inventing ways of solving the practical problems of the scale, then joinery, and maintenance of that. So all this that's why I said it's a series of problems. And then these I wanted to connect it with the airport in the way that it's about flying, going away, coming back. So that's why I call it flights of wonder. And also when you look at these birds which are flying, hundreds of them, and they don't clash into each other, they have a beautiful sense of rhythm. So I wanted to bring that. And as I was working, I called my vegetable vendor, I would call my neighbor, and they really started responding to it. And even as we were installing it, the people who were working in other projects, they came, they saw, they were taking pictures. So I was really sure that they are able to connect with that in a certain way. So that's why I said it's a series of problem solving, and I really liked it and learned a lot. Of course, theoretically, I knew that one can enter a traditional space and then come out with a new way of engaging. But this was a 8 months project, which practically I was doing it and solving it.
Would you like to also discuss on the problems which both of you faced while creating the artworks?
I think one of the things that comes to my mind right now is the fact that we had two processes. One which is the whole authentic handcrafted part, which is the hero of the window, and how do you actually kind of bring the story alive through props and accessories that really speak what the puppet is all about. And so we had to combine something that had, say, low tolerances and high tolerances. So digital printing, lighting techniques, accurate machining of metal parts to hold the bamboo for the puppet, etc. So I think it was a nice combination of contemporary processes and the handcrafted parts, which really comes alive when you see the windows up front. And it's actually one full circle, because when you look at handcrafted elements, it's one-off pieces. And today a lot of the technologies that are available also allow you to do one-off aspects. So we kind of created a combination of two very distinct processes that are all about creating very unique, almost individual expressions.
मैंने ये तो पपेट मुझे ट्रेडिशनल में तो ट्रेडिशन में ही करते थे, लेकिन अभी तो रानी अब्बा का ऐसा कभी हम शो नहीं करते थे, बंद हो गया था वो तो। लेकिन इन्होंने आके बताया मुझे, वो रानी अब्बा का क्या शो हम तो डिज़ाइन बना के दे दो। लेकिन मैं पुराना पपेट था वो पपेट है सुप्रभा का एक पपेट था। सुप्रभा मीन्स वो महाभारत में कहानी आता है, नेपाल का राजकुमारी को अर्जुन ने शादी कर लेता है, तो पुरुष द्वेषी थी वो, तो अर्जुन के ऊपर लड़ने का एक कैरेक्टर था। लेकिन मैं तो उसी का डिज़ाइन उठा के वो पपेट बना के, इन्होंने मुझे वो डिज़ाइन दिखाया, इन्होंने क्या बताया, मैंने वो पपेट बना के दिया हूँ। लेकिन मैं ऐसा बनाने के बाद मैं सोच लिया हम तो इसके साथ गाना भी रख दिया, म्यूजिक, छोटा सा म्यूजिक रख दिया, तब तो पपेट का क्या है उसका शो कैसे चलता है वो भी हो सकता है। मैं मेरा म्यूजियम में भी वो ये कर दिया मैंने, लेकिन बहुत लोग आके देखते हैं वो ऐसा पपेट बना के दिया हूँ, इसके पीछे वो गाना उसका हम तो गाने में एक शुरू कर देते हैं, कैसे लोग आते तब ಕಾಲಂಗಳೆರಡು ಕೈ ತೋಳುಗಳು ಅನ್ನೆರಡು ನೀಲವಾಗಿಹ ಕಣ್ಗಳೊಂಬತ್ತು ಕುಚಗಳು 6 ನಾಲಿಗೆಗಳೈದು ಮೂಷಕನಯಗಲೇರಿ ಮೆರೆದಿರುವ ಶಕ್ತಿಲೋಲ ಶ್ರೀ ಗಣಪತಿಗೆ वंदने। ऐसा गाना डाल के उसके नीचे रिकॉर्ड करके हम तो रख दिए। अब बहुत लोग मेरे घर पे आके देख रहे हैं। धन्यवाद।
Thank you. This question is for Madhu and Mr. Vasudev. Both of you have collaborated extensively with artists on a traditional craftsmen for a long time. How has the process changed and what has evolved with the collaborations?
So for me, okay. So to get a contemporary take on a traditional craft, that is what has been a constant try. And I think to be able to showcase a contemporary craft, a traditional craft in a contemporary way and give it a total new form and function. Because traditional crafts which were used for certain functions probably now are not used for the same reasons. So, but the crafts are still alive. And those crafts need to have a function. So to transform from the traditional requirement or form of that particular craft into a contemporary setting, to give it a contemporary use so that the craft can continue. So that is what I have tried. And it is a little difficult to get a traditional craftsperson to understand that change has to happen, change has to be made. But yes, it is possible. I've been able to do that, and I think that is the way forward for the traditional crafts.
For me, as Ravi said, tradition is a living one. And we are all part of that tradition. And my experience with this weaver is almost my age, 80 plus. When I met him and invited him to my studio, I said, do you think we can collaborate? He had not heard the word collaboration. He said, Madana sir, Madana sir. I said, look, first of all, I don't want to do one piece or two pieces and then be done with it. I want to continuously do it, to understand the tapestry and to weaving, how it is done. And you should understand the way I paint. So, to first work, we selected one small painting, and then he took almost 6 to 8 months to finish it. And I used to go to his studio. He lives in Malaysia, in Rajajanagar. So I knew the problems he was facing. He thought translating from painting to weaving is very easy. It is not that easy. He said, you mix so many colors to get one color in your painting, which is very difficult, as you know, in tapestry. Each thread I have to put it and cut it, again join it, and put another thread there, join it like that. And he said, not to quote me, Hussain Saab ka bahut easy sir. Yellow, white, black, red, flat colors. Easy for me to do it. But in your case, it's very difficult. I said, okay, no problem at all. Let us work for a long time. There is no short time thing in this. Then he said, 3 conditions, sir. One condition is no time frame. I will take my own time. I said, fine, no problem at all. 2, he said, second one is, I charge whatever I want. I said, no problem at all. And third thing is, he said something, yeah. Don't simplify your art to make it easy for me. I want to come to whatever level it's possible. So with these 3 conditions, we have been working for the last 24 years. And once, when Sakshi Gallery was alive in Bangalore, Geeta Mehra of Sakshi, she said, you must have an exhibition of these works. I had done about 17 or 18 by that time. And then I asked Vikram Sardesai, a designer, to design the exhibition. And he beautifully put up, I never realized that till that time, how beautiful it looks, the back of the tapestry. It looks abstract, totally abstract. And then he had put them up like that in the exhibition as he entered. And then I invited this man for the opening of the show, introduced him to many people, and took him to his studio where NDTV covered the process of his doing my work. Film, it was video film was made. Then 2 ladies, my friends, they said, if we go to him, he will do it for us. Why do you have to go through you? I told, yeah, you can go to him, no problem at all. And a month later he came home and he said, sir, some 2 ladies came. He was very honest in saying that. They said, please do these 2 tapestries for us, we'll pay you whatever it is. Then I told them, no, I can't do it. Vasudev sir has said only one of its kind, not more than that. And he pays for it. Whatever I ask, he pays for it. And then I can't do it. So that was the thing which I feel, many people think that, the Indian craftsmen, it is easy to buy them. But I think if you give them a chance to do things, I think they can do wonderful things, and you don't have to, really bother about, these crafts councils promoting craft and things like that. I mean, there is no necessity. I mean, you can use them beautifully. And today I think that a lot of contemporary artists are using craftsmen. And Indian craft is very, very important. And for contemporary Indian artists to use it the way one wants to use, the way he wants to use, I think it's important. And for that matter, the Kashmiri artist, what's his name? No, I forget his name now. He lives in Delhi. He lives in Delhi. He's a very well-known painter. And in fact, he had a show at Sumuka Gallery also.
Veer Munshi.
Veer Munshi. Veer Munshi. Veer Munshi was telling me, the craft is so important that Indian artists should realize that that's the thing which will take you along, to take you forward. And I believe in it very strongly, and I do it that way. Thank you.